This lesson is general probability using board number 33, the deck of cards, the coins, and the number die. What we're going to do is we're going to calculate the probability for several events using these materials. The first example in the textbook says that we need to calculate the probability of flipping a coin and getting tails. Well, first we'll examine the coin, and we recognize that there are two possible outcomes, heads and tails, and only one of them meet our criteria, that being tails. So the probability of flipping a coin and getting tails is 1 out of 2, or 1/2. The next example is, what is the probability that today is Thursday, assuming that the day is unknown? Well, we know that there are 7 days in a week, so the probability that today is Thursday is 1 out of 7. The next problem is what is the probability of rolling a die and getting a 1? We know that on any standard die there are 6 numbers, and only one of them is the number 1. So the probability of rolling a die and getting a 1 is 1 out of 6, which is 1/6. The next question says, what is the probability of rolling a die and getting a 0? And since there is no 0 on this die, we know that the probability is 0. Number 5 says, what is the probability of rolling a die and getting an even number? We know that there are 3 even numbers on the die, 2, 4, and 6. Therefore, there are 3 possible outcomes that meet our criteria, and there are 6 total possible outcomes. So we have 3 out of 6, which is 1/2. Next, we have a bag of coins. There are 24 coins in this bag, 6 from each denomination, pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. The probability of pulling a nickel out, there are 6 nickels, 24 total coins, which means there are 6 out of 24 are nickels. So the probability is 6 out of 24, which reduces to 1 out of 4. Again, since there are the same number of coins in each denomination, we can see that one denomination is nickels, and the other 3 are dimes, pennies, and quarters. So 1 out of 4 is the probability of pulling a nickel out of this bag. In number 7, we're asked to calculate the probability of drawing a king from the deck of cards. Well, I have these laid out in the 4 suits, and so we know that there are 4 kings in a deck of cards. There are 52 total cards in a deck, so 4 out of 52 is the probability of drawing a king out of a regular deck of cards, which is the same as saying 1 out of 13. So the probability of drawing a king is 1/13. And we can see that there are 13 cards in each suit, and so therefore 1 out of 13 is the reduced probability. Finally, we need to focus on 2 words that you'll often see in probability questions, and those are the words and or. Another synonym for the word and is intersection, and for the word or is union. Intersection means that they occur at the same time. For instance, if I asked what is the probability of drawing a red king from a deck of cards, I would have to have both a red and a king. This will reduce the probability, or at least keep it the same. In this case, we have 2 red kings out of 52. Therefore, we have 1 out of 26 cards is a red king. Notice in these 2 suits, the total is 26 cards. In these 2, there are 26 cards. So 1 out of 26 is the red king. Finally, the word or is also the same as the word union, which means what is the probability of one or the other happening. This will either keep the probability the same or increase. So if I ask what is the probability of getting a king or a 3, in this case we have 4 kings, we also have 4 3s, so that would be 8 out of 52 cards, which reduces to 4 out of 26, and again reduces to 2 out of 13. When you look, you know that each suit has 13 cards, and a 3 and a king, there are 2, so 2 out of 13 is the final probability. Finally, we can use board number 33 to calculate general probability. We can use the spinner on board number 23, and we can have students spin it, and we can ask them to see if their probability that they originally calculated is similar to what they get in their actual solution to the problem. So in this case, we can ask students, what is the probability of getting a red? And we see that there are 5 reds on the board. 5 out of 12 total possible options. Therefore, the probability of getting a red is 5/12. You can also ask them what is the probability of getting a red or a triangle, or you could ask them what is the probability of getting a red and a triangle. So we can use this board, the deck of cards, the coins, and the dice to calculate general probability.